Let me verify this is live streaming. It's looking good. Okay. Hey, I'm digging the hair, dude.
I know, right? Look, my brother.
Yeah. Looking good. Looking good.
Comfortable. That's
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. Especially these Tuesdays. I look forward to these Tuesdays, after working.
yeah.
It's pretty chaotic during the day and just, after working and just to kind of just chill out and get in that meditative state. So, all right, guys. Well, awesome to see everyone here again today. We are live streaming over to YouTube and Facebook. For everyone, thank you for joining. We hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We live stream over to Facebook and YouTube while we actually hold our live sessions over on our Zoom. So we always invite you over to join so we can see your pretty faces over here on Zoom and see you live. And you can find that link over at freedomsnap.org/Seth, which also has a link there. You can add the calendar to your device so you get notifications. We also schedule these on YouTube and Facebook. So if you are over there, you could always click that notify button on that live tab over on YouTube so you get notified via your YouTube application. And please do like, share, subscribe. We're trying to get this far and wide. One thing I did forget to mention last week, we kind of switched things up as far as the format goes the past couple weeks. Instead of an hour long, or maybe even sometimes we've had a 2 hour long session, we are condensing it a little bit, and maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes is going to be maybe some brief discussion, the intro, the discussion, and then we'll go directly into our coherence meditation. And maybe half hour, 45 minutes, and then sometimes we'll end it, or maybe sometimes on a rare occasion we'll come back in with maybe a Q&A or something. We'll kind of play that by ear, but the objective there is to end it so that if you are in that state of mind, you could just end the Zoom and continue doing this on your own. And we always do encourage you to do this as a daily practice. Okay, those recordings can always be found over on the YouTube channel. If you go over to YouTube, it's the Cosmic Gaia Community channel. Click on the live tab. It always has our recordings on there. We are working on a couple things right now to go back in our backlog. It's a pretty long backlog of all of our coherence meditations. We're cutting those actual coherence meditations down to little clips and maybe add in some music or something like that, and I'm kind of working on something like this on the side, these little things, so these are kind of cool. I bought these on Amazon. They are very cool, man. So coming at you, from a left speaker, from a right speaker, along with the coherence meditation, those frequencies to go along with your chakra, whatever you're working on, they actually help. So maybe I'll put together some instructions, see how these work in the next several weeks, and put together some instructions on how everybody else can do something like that. So again, welcome. So off to you, Seth.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for getting all the housekeeping points and keeping us on track. And the other thing too that we should mention is I've had quite a few people reach out and ask if we could do shorter ones. And absolutely, yes, we'll definitely do that. And at the same time, I was telling Greg this, as soon as we get into independently or an individual coherent state, I feel like we just get into that space and I can feel myself talking and I know that something's happening. And then when I look up, when I open my eyes, I'm like, holy moly, an hour just flew by and it literally seemed like it was, really quick. So that's a natural process. And we do it because it just happens, you know? And at night, where I am at 6 p.m., actually where you are, Greg, it's 3, right? Pacific.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For me, like as I come down to the end of a day, I guess you could say, I like to just totally calm my nervous system down. And that's part of what's happening here together. So that's that. We will have shorter ones. Regarding tonight and fear and what we're going to work on, fear is such an incredible energy, emotion, feeling. It's like it can save our life and it can kill us at the same time. It's that powerful in its extremes. And the kind of fear that we feel in a dangerous situation, that's great. We want to feel that. We want to be totally open and just, if that's what happens, if that's what we need to be, boom, it happens. But the fear that we're working on mostly tonight is basically when somebody gets, the body doesn't know the difference between something that's really happening or something that's imagined. And these imagined fears that we have picked up and learned throughout the course of our life by being in society that's trying to sell us products and us incidentally becoming a product of society, we start to almost unconsciously take a perception or a perspective that is socially conditioned, right? Like societally indoctrinated. All this stuff happens and it just seems normal, right? Because it's everybody does it. It's just what's happening. But bit by bit, if the body can't really tell the difference between an actual dangerous situation or fear that we just are thinking about, and throughout decades of our life, we dwell on it, the body doesn't know the difference, then we start to literally become addicted to phobias and belief systems and all these things that were never really ours to begin with, but that we perceive with fear. We perceive, we project, oh my God, this happened, that happened. It just goes in so many different directions. And we come to accept that as who we think we are. It's like we give unconscious consent to all these fears that aren't even real to be in us, to be in our body, to be around us. And when I really started to examine this personally, 99% of everything I was worried about or focusing on wasn't even real, wasn't even mine. It's real in the sense that my phobia or my fear, or my perception of it had developed so much over time to the degree that it seemed real. But when I let it go, when I let all of my thinking that is formed from language, even our belief systems, the way we function in the world, so much of what we think is influenced by the language or languages that we speak, that we can really get good at telling ourselves these stories of why we should be afraid and all of that. And until we individually choose to let it all go, even through the language, like all the thoughts that are focused on our language or that come from our language, if you can get to that point where you can just, even if it's for a few minutes, let language go and let all your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, actions that are tied to all of this focus, let it go. And you literally have the ability. It might not be the first time, might not be the second, but if you get really good at just letting it all go, perceive reality from a kinesthetic place, right? Instead of thinking, you can feel and sense abstract energies. And bit by bit, it begins to develop new perceptual abilities that have always been there, but that maybe we didn't know we had the ability to develop. And those start to come online. And we say this, it's not the World Wide Web, it's the web of life itself. there's like this artificial organic web of life, and then there's this living organic one that is, it's infinite, it's miraculous. And when we have fear and we start to like get really objective with our life and who we think we are, and especially outside at night on a clear sky, when I think I have some kind of problem, then I go outside and I look up and let it all go, it's gone. It's like, oh my God, who am I to even get tripped up on anything? And that's when the liberation starts to come, the self-liberation, the you that you know you really are, the infinite intelligence of your own being, the innate intelligence of reality that is doing miracles in every single one of our bodies right now. It's closer to us than our own heartbeat. We all are it. And when we start to let go of who we think we are, then what we actually are starts to come out through all these different new perceptual abilities that are in every single person, always. So with that, I ask that people have some water, get a cup or a glass or however you drink your water, keep it near you, because we're going to charge it with our heartbeat. Ah, I love it. Ice cold. So we're going to get going here, but if anybody has anything they want to ask or say or anything at all, feel free to do that. And then we'll spend a little bit of time on it and then we'll get right into it. So.
Yeah, I'd like to add actually, so I think this is number 4 of our series on addiction. So I forgot to mention the title earlier. It's Embracing Fear with Understanding.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
number 4. And I think that Nancy had a question. I don't know if you, Nancy, did you want to ask that aloud here or just sent via signal? You said.
All right, well, no talking, all action. Let's get to it.
All right.
So wherever you are, just get comfortable. Let your chair, your couch, your bed, wherever you are and whatever is holding you up, floor, if you're laying down, anywhere, whether you're sitting down or laying down, let that surface just hold all of you, everything, all your body weight, all your feelings, everything that is the sum total of you at this point. Trust that surface. I know it sounds kind of funny, but you get to a point and you realize that these structures become our best friend and they hold the energy that we generate when we really create a relationship with them. And as you're comfortable and settled in, just start to breathe really gently. Breathing is happening whether we're conscious of it or not. And when we choose to start being conscious of our breath and taking our perception and just aligning it with that natural, slow breathing, we get good at doing that. At some point, we'll have epiphanies, we'll have remembrances, realizations that the breath of life is so important, so magical, and so therapeutic when we recognize what it's doing. We can go months sometimes without food. We can only go days without water. But literally, we can't go more than a couple minutes with breathing. And that is kind of pretty clear of the necessity to be conscious of your breath and create a relationship with it, because it's happening whether we're paying attention or not. So when we entrain our perception on our breath, we begin to form a healthy relationship of our nervous system with our consciously aware breathing. And when we start to get all of that in harmony together, that's when we really start to remember and experience the realizations that we are here. We're alive. And we've been functioning on so little of what we're capable of functioning on. Meaning these perceptual abilities that are in everyone, that it doesn't matter if it's your thoughts, your language, your belief. We have profound perceptual abilities that seemingly now more than ever in my life, people are really beginning to embrace that idea and to just completely trust that by relaxing, by aligning our perception with our breathing, while we're actively relaxing, we find that we start being able to perceive reality on such a deeper level. And the power, the empowerment of realizing you are activating dormant perceptual abilities that are now coming to the forefront of your awareness. And all of us doing that together, we make it possible for each other to really begin to open up these abilities. It truly is the 100th monkey effect. You can have a whole group together. And if one individual of the entire group starts to have a really profound shift in how they perceive reality, they become embodied by that shift. It wakes up the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. It gets charged with you relaxing, with you breathing consciously, with your breath. And if one person who's embodied by that, and all it is, it's their potential. It's what has always been there, but that maybe we weren't really beginning to tune into until now. And if one person in a group has that, bit by bit, whether we know it or not, we start to realize that it's happening to all of us. And that is the beauty of what we're all doing together. If one of us has these profound connections to this profound innate intelligence that is already causing our heart to beat, causes all these systems of our body to exist and work with each other, even if we're stressed out, even if we're focused on fear. This innate intelligence is there. It is doing its job. And its job is to be a miracle worker. And through everything happening in our bodies, then we start being conscious of what we already are and what is already there. And when we allow who we are, sum total of everything that's happened in our life and brought us right up to this very moment, when we allow that to be entrained by these deeper, relaxed states of recognizing that the most miraculous possibility there ever could be is happening right now. And anytime you begin to tune into that and you start to feel yourself being in harmony with this innate intelligence, if you start to do that more regularly, at some point, all of this stuff is going to become at the forefront of your consciousness. You will realize that you have wisdom that is so far beyond this entire life we've lived. And at the same time, it's right here with us. And when you start to develop a temperament of trusting that, loving that part of yourself, and even finding humor, you start to take all these different elements of yourself, your self-awareness, and you combine it all together. You become more aware. Your ability to start activating these dormant perceptual centers that are not only all through your body, they are around your body. They are all connected, like acupuncture, acupressure points. They are all through you and they are all around you. And the more you start to become aware of them inside of you, and you really get good at focusing your perception in these points, the more you do that, the more you take your attention from a place of love, calm, humor, and you focus it in any point of your body. That's you amplifying what's already happening. And if your body knows how to regulate all of these intense, complex bodily systems, and it knows how to do it as well as it is, despite how much you've suffered, despite how chaotic the world can get. When you become aware of all of that and you focus it and you amplify it, that's you amplifying the miracle that you already are. And the fear, the addicting fear that is almost blunt, it's fear that has built up throughout the course of our lifetime. Fear that isn't in a state of fight or flight. It's just this ever persisting fear. It happens once somewhere early in life and it jolts our system and we know it. And as we grow and evolve, other things happen that kind of jolt us or get us off balance. And it's intense. We feel it. We remember it. And then over time, we start to become addicted to the feeling or feelings that experiences like that activate in us. And so we begin to get into a place of being so harmonized to this low to mid-grade fear of us being worried about anything and everything, anyone, everybody. We begin to form a picture of reality based on our body and our awareness focusing on this anxiety, on this fear, and we become addicted to it without even realizing it. We are taking the sum total of who we think we are with all our anxiety, and we start to project that into our life, into our future, immediate and long term. And we don't even realize that by doing that, we are sealing our fate. We are setting parameters of our own awareness and projecting it right out into our life, not even realizing that it's a pattern. And it goes both ways. Because if we can get so good at closing our minds, closing our heart, living in the belief that there's danger around every corner, if we can do that for decades of our life, years of our life, to the degree that our entire sense of self becomes hardwired by that practice. Imagine what it would be like if you knew you could create a greater relationship with your body chemistry. And what would be happening if you prioritize that? What kind of energy would you be projecting into the world, your world? That's exciting. That's beautiful. And it is infinite possibility, potential. And it's available to all of us, all of the time. Really just scan your body from head to toe. If you feel anything, whether it's pain, whether it's fear, anxiety, anything that you would feel as you scan your body, just be aware of that, or of that point, or of that place where it feels like there's something there. Just gently allow yourself to remember that as we do this work together. And smile through your heart, through your entire body. You don't even have to think about what that means. It's a reflex that we all did when we were children. And now that we're bigger children, we can still do the same thing. And so through that smile is you feeling gratitude for life. It's you choosing to smile and feel the energy of that smile interwoven throughout all these acupuncture, acupressure, energy-based points. You're smiling and you're able to feel that smile. And the marriage of those few elements opens you back up, open-minded, open-hearted, and aware that, like the ocean of stars we can see in the sky at night, there truly is nothing between who we are and what we are. And when I look into the sky at night and I see that ocean of stars, and it seems like it's so big and so far away, and it is. But as above, so below, or better yet, so inside. Everything we witness outside is happening inside. Even when there's thunderstorms, lightning, a very similar phenomena happens. And we think, what we feel, when we open our new perceptual points to the possibility that is already there. Electrical signals, they go off. It's like a flurry of lightning, and it's all happening throughout your brain, your heart, through every system in your body, and to all of these external systems that are around our body that we're becoming more and more conscious of. And those points literally expand into infinity as far as we are ready and willing to go. That is beautiful. Imagine what would happen when we start to get more and more doing this together. Somebody's gonna wake up within the course of a nanosecond. They are going to remember and realize that each and every one of us is infinite possibility happening in real time, beyond time, in nothing but everything. An infinite quantum field of endless expressions of consciousness enhancing abilities that we can employ to start creating a deeper, more intimate relationship with the very life that we're feeling gratitude for when we smile. And if you feel somewhere in your body that you decided you want to focus on, let yourself focus on it. Don't hyper focus, just gently but consistently let a part of you be aware of any anxiety, of any fear, of any belief system that has been formed through our attachment to language, to our fear of death, our fear of life, anything that throughout the course of our lives we have spent so much time focusing on, whether we realize it or not, that whatever it is we've been focusing on starts to accumulate in all the neural networks of the brain, of the heart, of the body. And without thinking about it, just relax. Completely let it go. Feel and listen to the space between the words that are being spoken. It's in that space that what is really being communicated is there. The words, the way the words are spoken, it's like a roadmap, a hitchhiker's guide to the universe. And it takes us to wherever we want it to. And if we don't know where we want to go, it's going to bring us somewhere on its own. Because if it's intelligent enough to cause all of these different systems and points of perception that are in and around us, if it's smart enough to make all of that happen, then by logic, it seems that this energy, you, me, it knows where it came from and it knows where it's going, whether you or I do or not. And in conditioning yourself to feel faith, to trust this miracle that you already are, that your entire sense of self is already powered by, what can happen to your fear, to your pain, to anything that you feel like you've been holding on to for a long time and that you're ready to let go. And slow your breathing down more. Be aware of how the air that you're inhaling and exhaling, be aware of what it feels like when that air comes into your body. Can you feel it filling your lungs? Can you feel it in the back of your throat? Just let yourself be aware of how sensitive you are to that is happening. We are creating physical, energetic-based reality just by our breathing. And by smiling and feeling that smile while we focus, that's us taking this innate intelligence that we all already are, and we are opening up new pathways for life, for it to begin to have its own experience of itself through us. We each literally give unique expression to all of what is already happening. And that is us enacting our co-creative self and abilities and practicing what that co-creative energy can actually create. And as we're aware of all of this, as we're letting ourselves start to sense what the air feels like when it comes into our body and when we exhale it, we're giving more meaning to what is already happening. And by giving it more meaning, you're creating a much more harmonious relationship to what is already happening. As you smile just a little bit and feel the energy of that smile, relax even deeper. Let your floor, your couch, your chair have complete faith that it's got you. And with that faith, with that trust, just relax even deeper. Let yourself relax like you're going to sleep. Let your body, your mind, let it all feel like it's getting ready to sleep. And keep one light on while you let your body calm down and go to sleep. A deeply relaxed state of alert awareness. We're aiming our attention to the balance of these points that are already here, that everything already is. And that by being aware of this, we are giving greater significance to life. We are amplifying the innate intelligence of our being that is already there. Through a relaxed state of alertness, we can start to let ourselves be aware of whatever thoughts beliefs, behaviors. We're giving ourselves space to just let that be whatever it is, however it feels. And we can just let it be whatever it is. If it hurts, if it feels sharp or dull, or if it feels like something that we constantly revisit, we're just going to let that feel exactly how it does. And if it feels too intense, that's perfect. If you feel afraid or too much anxiety, let yourself feel it from a place of relaxed alertness. Let yourself feel it fully while you're completely relaxed. Let whatever that belief system, that perpetual awareness of self, let it have its full expression while you're relaxed and holding space for it to be exactly what it is right now, and to play out its own cycle while you just gently observe it and let it run its course. And as it runs its course, and if the sensation of your own awareness on your fear, your anxiety, whatever it is, however it felt, you're going to let it play itself out. Let it run its course. And whatever that felt like to you, or you just let yourself be aware of whatever it is that you've been hanging on to up till now, that you have given permission for it to express itself, even if it hurt. You're letting it run its course, and you're letting it go. And as you have let go of that, of the feeling of whatever it is that you are feeling, you're going to sense that there is something already there that wants to take the space of whatever it is you've been hanging on to until now. It wants to take the space in and around your being of the part of yourself that you just let go. And as you let your gentle but focused awareness of self, as you allow that to focus on whatever it was you were focusing on, just let yourself be aware of it. Feel it. You don't need to put any words into it. It's like the sensation of being aware of how your breath feels when it comes into your lungs, when it goes out of your lungs. You are allowing yourself to be hyper focused on this incredible force of nature that is playing itself out in all of us, in everyone, in everything. And if you can just let yourself dwell in that space of new life, just let yourself do that. With only your breath to really guide you. And the space between these words that is speaking to you a language that you will soon come to remember. Just let it all happen as you hold space for it. And smile because you love it. And when you start to embody the remembrance of loving everything as it is, then everything as it is starts to relate back to you. You love it, it loves you back. And that is such a meaningful relationship. It's the real relationship for all of us. Whether we know it or not, it is the one element that was with us before we were here, and it will stay with us forever. And so trusting it, relaxing into it, just feels like the most harmonious way to let yourself be. And by creating a habit of totally relaxed alertness, and bring your own life force into balance, into everything you've been hanging on to, everything that you feel. You're letting the energy that's causing all of that to happen just be totally relaxed in you, balancing out all the extremes of energy that are already with you, letting it be balanced so that your heart and your brain can communicate more freely, with you beginning to become more aware of the relationship that your organs share together, and that your perception of being aware of what they're sharing is a part of that. This is where we begin to create relationships that are the most beneficial for our health. And while we're doing all of this, all of the old neural networks and pathways through our brain and body that represent the fear we have both consciously and unconsciously been clinging on to the degree that it has created its own pathways through the neural architecture of your body. And by bringing greater, yet more simple awareness to your body and all these systems, it's creating new pathways to exist in you. And just like taking care of plants, the more you water it, the more you give it nutrients, and most importantly, the way you interact with another living being all has its origins in the way that you relate to yourself and to the selfless component of energy, of awareness that is allowing you to be who you are. You're giving that level of awareness the space, the light, and the nutrients so that it can grow into deeper expressions of what it already is. Anything that's been bothering you, whether it feels like it's a new thing or it's something you've been carrying around for a long time, wish it well. Thank you for teaching the exact things that I didn't even know I needed to learn. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the presence that has been in me from my presence. And I'm so grateful for all that you shared. But now I'm letting you go. And I'm letting you go freely. Let yourself be aware of what you would feel like if you began to create a skill of totally relaxed alertness. Imagine what that would represent in your day-to-day, moment-to-moment perception of reality. You're letting all of who you think you are to be amplified and empowered by what you already are. And that by letting yourself be aware of it consciously, with all of us, with everything, trust that you are exactly where you're destined to be. And that life force is your greatest teacher. And you're ready to keep learning what will take place of the fear that you've been holding on to. fear that you've projected into your future, but that now you've decided to just be aware of the energy that even made the fear possible. The more conscious you choose to be of what is already happening, the more you amplify all of the elements that are causing everything to happen. And you're letting fear run its course. And as it releases, as it moves out, you're letting a relaxed state of alertness, trust, of that smile and the feeling that it creates. You're letting that grow new roots into all of the neural architecture of your being. And by observing yourself doing it, you're watering, you're giving nourishment, care to the part of yourself that can transcend all fear. And you're becoming stronger and more confident of what that represents. And you're going to keep nourishing it because you're going to keep experiencing what it's already offering. And you're just going to let these little perceptual points of awareness in you start to become aware beyond language, beyond belief, beyond and totally within fear. And you're making peace with that. And no matter what happens in your future, your commitment to making peace with everything that happens becomes a skill that will provide more value than possibly anything in your life. Just let everything go. Totally relax. And let that relaxed feeling permeate and reverberate throughout the entire holographic nature of infinite quantum reality. You're letting yourself feel that reverberation, that vibration that's already there, and that you're amplifying because you love life. And no matter how much you have hung on to fear and pain, you're embracing it. You're embracing it to the degree that something new and greater and more coherent is taking its old place. And smile for that. Feel what that smile feels like. And memorize that feeling so you can keep rebuilding, so you can create more connectivity that you're choosing to be more conscious of. You're creating a home inside of yourself for you to grow and heal at capacities that could be infinite, infinitely loving, infinitely peaceful. Whatever you want to focus on and choose to feel will take root, and you will begin to grow, to flower, to radiate the possibility of what that self-nourishment of this divine or bioelectromagnetic energy that's already there. You're letting that have its home in you. And just by letting yourself do that, it pushes away anything that you don't want to hold on to anymore. And smile. Feel that smile. Fear, anxiety. What fear? What anxiety? You've let it go. And what's taking its place is something so empowering that if you focus on, you won't ever need to backslide into fear, no matter how long it takes, or even if it has already happened. Together and individually, we're creating a pathway of possibility. So all of the thunder and lightning that's taking place in our being, all of these acupuncture points of light that are in and around our entire being, just like the stars in the sky. We're letting all of that dwell in and around all of us together. And by opening up space, we begin to get really good at allowing space, the perfect place to dwell, to grow. And we literally are we're living beings that are surrounded by all of that. And that is always fulfilled inside of us. So you're breathing gently. You're relaxing. You're smiling. And with all of those elements together, let yourself take the awareness of that feeling. And without even thinking about it, let that energy charge the water that you're going to drink. You're aware of that cup, glass, bottle of water, and you're loving it. You're loving life. You're loving that water's ability to be imprinted by you in training the natural coherence all through your body. And that water, that's your greatest aspiration. The focus of you replacing fear with your own love and with your own love amplifying that divine, infinite aspect of love that is you. The creative potential of life that causes everything to live and change form. We can live our lives naturally aware of that. And if you can feel your pulse or feel your heart beating, see if you can just let that feeling of your heart beating be in the water that you have. The water that you are going to use to nourish these new parts of yourself that you are growing. Just very gently open your eyes, take that water, and if you can hold it in your hands, put it up to your heart. And if not, just totally relax. And when you feel ready, take a few sips of that water with that smile and the feeling. After you've had a good sip, start rubbing your hands together. Let them get hot. Or if you want to keep holding space for this space in you, just hang up now and continue to stay in this space. But if you're still here, get your hands nice and warm with the friction. And then take the palm of your hands and put them over your eyes so that you temporarily are creating darkness. And if you can see, sense, or feel anything that is in the darkness you're temporarily creating, make a note of it. And if you want to massage your face or do EFT tapping, whatever you want to do to bring yourself into a state of doing whatever you were planning to do for the rest of your day or evening. And please just let yourself move forward, knowing that you have something that is so much more powerful than the fear you've hung on to. And that you're part of a community of people who all know that all of this is possible and that we're doing together. And please share this with anybody. Like it, love it, tag friends, email it, anything that feels right to you. or that you want to contribute to the growth of our group, feel free to do that. Know that you are choosing to take your addiction to fear that you maybe weren't even fully aware of. And you're replacing the addiction to fear with healthy habits of creating coherence. And we will see you guys soon.